Welcome to Rooted Stories, where we explore the powerful stories that shape our world. Join us as we dive into real-life experiences that challenge our perspectives, foster empathy, and inspire change. Together, we'll uncover the truths behind the headlines and share voices that need to be heard. Breaking the silence. Black girl calls 911 after racist attack. Have you ever witnessed or experienced discrimination in the workplace? You're not alone. Studies show that over 30% of employees face bias at work, often feeling powerless to respond. But today, we follow the empowering journey of Maya Patel, a talented graphic designer who decides to take a stand against prejudice. What would you do if your boss insulted you? Maya's choice to break the cycle of discrimination not only changes her life, but inspires countless others to speak out. What happens when one woman decides to break the cycle of discrimination at work? For Maya Patel, a talented graphic designer, that question became a stark reality the day her manager, Steve, belittled her in front of colleagues. "Can we really trust someone like Maya to lead this project?" he sneered, revealing not just his bias but a toxic culture that had long gone unchecked. How many others had silently suffered like Maya, their talents overshadowed by prejudice? As the sting of his words sank in, Maya faced a critical choice: remain silent and allow the cycle of discrimination to continue, or stand up and risk everything to fight back. In a world where many choose to look the other way, Maya resolved to confront injustice head-on. But could her singular voice be powerful enough to challenge the systemic bias in her workplace? Would her courage inspire others to join her fight against hate? Or would it only lead to isolation? In that pivotal moment, Maya knew one thing: her story was just beginning, and she was ready to spark a movement that would challenge the very foundations of discrimination in her life. In the bustling heart of downtown, Maya Johnson walked into her office, a determined smile plastered across her face. As a young black woman working in a predominantly white corporate environment, she faced daily challenges. Yet her ambition shone brightly, fueled by dreams of climbing the corporate ladder. With her degree in business management and a keen intellect, Maya was ready to make her mark. Every day she dressed in crisp blazers and tailored skirts, her hair neatly styled, ready to impress. Despite the unspoken tensions that lingered in the air, she held on to her aspirations, reminding herself that her hard work would eventually pay off. However, the corporate world often proved harsh. Subtle microaggressions from colleagues left her feeling isolated. Yet Maya found solace in her close friendship with Jessica, a spirited coworker who always had her back. They would often share their experiences, reminding each other of their worth and potential. "Don't let them get to you, Maya," Jessica would say, her fiery spirit contagious. "You're smarter than all of them. Just keep pushing forward." Maya would smile, grateful for Jessica's unwavering support. However, deep inside, the weight of the daily microaggressions began to wear her down. She often replayed interactions in her mind, questioning whether she was imagining the subtle biases she encountered. Inciting Incident 1, Fateful Afternoon, Maya's world shifted dramatically during a team meeting. The conference room was filled with her colleagues, all seated and ready to discuss the upcoming project. Mr. Thompson, their manager, a man in his 50s with an air of arrogance, sat at the head of the table. His demeanor was often condescending, especially towards Maya. As the meeting progressed, Maya presented her ideas with enthusiasm, but Mr. Thompson seemed distracted. When she finished her presentation, he leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, and shot her a look that made her stomach churn. "I appreciate your efforts, Maya, but we need actionable insights, not just pretty words," he said, dismissing her suggestions with a wave of his hand. The room fell silent, and Maya felt her cheeks flush with embarrassment. Just when she thought things couldn't get worse, Mr. Thompson continued, "You know, Maya, maybe if you weren't so busy trying to prove yourself, you'd actually contribute something worthwhile. Your skin color doesn't help you fit in here." Gasps echoed around the room. Maya felt her heart sink, The insult pierced her soul. A mixture of disbelief and anger surged within her. The stunned silence was deafening as she struggled to respond. Her colleagues looked away, unwilling to meet her eyes. Maya fought back tears, her voice trembling as she replied, "I'm doing my best, Mr. Thompson. I expect respect like anyone else." The words barely escaped her lips before the meeting abruptly ended, leaving her feeling vulnerable and exposed. The decision. Later that day, Maya sought refuge in a nearby coffee shop, her mind racing. She ordered a latte, but the warmth of the drink did little to soothe her frayed nerves. As she sat by the window, watching the bustling city outside, she recounted the meeting to Jessica, who had followed her there. "Did he really say that?" Jessica exclaimed, her eyes wide with disbelief. "What an absolute jerk. You need to do something about this. You can't let him get away with it." Maya nodded, her anger bubbling beneath the surface. "But what can I do? It's just one man's opinion, right?" "No, Maya. It's not just that. It's a pattern. You deserve to be treated with dignity," Jessica urged. "You have to stand up for yourself, not just for you, but for others who might face the same thing." In that moment, something clicked within Maya. She could no longer remain silent. Inspired by Jessica's words, she decided to take a stand. "I'm going to call 911, she said, her voice firm. "This isn't just about me, it's about accountability." The call Maya stepped outside, her heart pounding as she dialed the emergency number. The operator's voice greeted her, calm and professional. 911, what's your emergency?" "A man at my workplace just insulted me racially," Maya began, her voice shaking. "I need to report him. His name is Mr. Thompson. Can you provide the address of your workplace?" the operator asked. Maya quickly relayed the information, feeling a mix of empowerment and fear wash over her. "Can you tell me more about what happened?" the operator prompted. Maya took a deep breath, recounting the meeting and the hurtful comments made by her manager. She could feel the weight of her decision as she spoke, knowing she was taking a significant step against racism. "Help is on the way, ma'am. Stay where you are," the operator reassured her. Maya hung up, her heart racing as she awaited the arrival of the police. The aftermath moments later, police officers arrived at the scene, and Maya approached them, feeling a mix of anxiety and resolve. She recounted the incident again, the officers listening attentively. They took her statement, documenting the details of Mr. Thompson's derogatory remarks. "Can you show us where this happened?" one officer asked. Maya led them to the conference room where the remnants of the meeting still lingered in the air. Meanwhile, her colleagues began to filter out of the building, their expressions ranging from confusion to support. Maya could overhear whispers as some voiced their disapproval of Mr. Thompson's actions. As the officers spoke to Mr. Thompson, who had been called in for questioning, Maya watched from a distance. He attempted to downplay his actions, insisting that he was simply being realistic. The tension in the room was palpable, with Maya feeling emboldened by the support of the officers. The resolution. After the police left, Maya returned to her desk, still shaking but determined. She realized that she needed to take further action. The next day, she scheduled a meeting with HR to file a formal complaint against Mr. Thompson. Maya prepared her documentation carefully, outlining the incident and how it affected her work environment. During the HR meeting, she presented her case with clarity and conviction. The HR manager listened attentively, promising to take the matter seriously. In the following weeks, Maya's complaint prompted an investigation. Mr. Thompson was put on administrative leave while the company reviewed the allegations. Maya felt a sense of justice. She was no longer a passive victim, but an advocate for herself and others. As the weeks turned into months, Maya took it upon herself to create a safe space for conversations about race and discrimination in the workplace. She initiated workshops focusing on diversity and inclusion, inviting speakers to share their experiences. Maya's courage inspired her colleagues. Many who had witnessed the incident came forward, voicing their support. Maya became a beacon of hope for those who felt voiceless, proving that standing up against hate could bring about change. The story concluded with Maya leading a workshop filled with eager participants. She spoke passionately about the importance of respect and empathy, reminding everyone that change begins with individual action. As she stood before her colleagues, Maya knew she had turned her painful experience into a catalyst for positive transformation. New alliances. As Maya established herself as a voice for change within the company, she also sought alliances outside her workplace. Inspired by her own experiences and the stories shared during her workshops, she began to volunteer at a local community center that focused on empowerment and education for marginalized groups. Every Saturday, Maya led discussions about self-advocacy and workplace rights, sharing her story and encouraging others to find their voices. The community center became a second home for her, a place where she could connect with individuals who had faced similar challenges. One day, while preparing for her workshop, Maya met Lena, a young Latina woman who had recently graduated from college. Lena had faced her own set of challenges in finding a job due to language barriers and cultural stereotypes. The two quickly bonded, sharing their experiences and aspirations. "Maya, you're so inspiring," Lena said, her eyes shining. "I want to help too. How can I get involved?" Maya smiled, feeling the weight of responsibility transform into a sense of purpose. "We can organize a joint workshop. Let's invite more people from our communities and talk about our experiences." With Lena's help, they launched a series of workshops that not only addressed workplace discrimination, but also offered practical skills like resume building and interview preparation. The response was overwhelming, with participants expressing gratitude for the safe space to share their stories. Facing challenges. Despite the positive changes, Maya still faced challenges at work. Rumors swirled about her complaints against Mr. Thompson, and some colleagues viewed her as a troublemaker. The stress began to affect her performance, causing her to doubt herself. One afternoon, she received an email from the HR department requesting her presence at a meeting. Her heart raced as she entered the conference room where Mr. Thompson sat across from the HR manager. "Thank you for coming, Maya," the HR manager said, her tone neutral. "We're here to discuss the outcome of the investigation." Maya took a deep breath, bracing herself for the worst. "I understand." Mr. Thompson's expression was unreadable as the HR manager detailed the findings. While they acknowledged that his comments were inappropriate, they ultimately decided to issue a warning rather than terminate his employment. Maya felt a mix of anger and disappointment. "A warning? That's it?" she challenged. "He's been allowed to continue working here after what he said to me?" The HR manager maintained her professionalism. "We have to follow company policy, Maya, but we appreciate your courage in coming forward." Maya left the meeting feeling defeated. Despite the support from her colleagues and the progress she had made, the outcome left her questioning the effectiveness of her efforts. A community rally. Inspired by her resolve to fight for justice, Maya decided to take her advocacy a step further. She organized a community rally, inviting people from various backgrounds to share their stories and unite against discrimination. The event would serve as a platform for voices that had been silenced for too long. With Lena's help, they secured a location in a local park, arranging speakers, musicians, and resources for attendees. As they prepared for the event, excitement grew within the community. On the day of the rally, the park was filled with people holding signs that read, "No more hate and united we stand." Maya stood on stage feeling a rush of emotions as she looked out at the crowd. "Thank you all for being here today," she began, her voice steady. "Together we're standing against hate and discrimination. Our stories matter and we deserve to be heard." As speakers shared their experiences, Maya felt a wave of empowerment wash over her. The crowd cheered and clapped, united in their fight against injustice. It was a moment of solidarity that Maya had longed for, a realization that change was possible. Healing and growth. As the rally concluded, Maya reflected on the journey she had taken. She had transformed her pain into purpose, empowering others to stand against hate. With Lena and Jessica by her side, she felt a renewed sense of determination. Despite the obstacles she faced at work, Maya understood that her voice mattered. She began to focus on her own professional growth, seeking mentorship and opportunities that aligned with her passions. In time, she received an offer for a new position in a more inclusive company. It was a chance to start fresh, to work in an environment that valued diversity and supported its employees. Maya accepted the offer, excited for the opportunities ahead. Before leaving her current job, she organized a final meeting with her colleagues, sharing her experiences and encouraging them to continue the fight for inclusivity. "I may be leaving, but my journey doesn't end here," she said, her heart full. "Let's continue to advocate for change. Together, we can make a difference." Conclusion. Maya's story became a beacon of hope, illustrating the power of resilience and the impact of standing against hate. As she stepped into her new role, she carried the lessons she had learned with her. With each challenge she faced, Maya knew she had the strength to overcome. The journey had not been easy, but it had transformed her. She had gone from a silent victim to a powerful advocate, using her voice to uplift others. Maya's commitment to change extended beyond her workplace. It resonated in her community and inspired countless individuals to stand up against hate. With every step forward, Maya honored her past while embracing the future, knowing that together, they could create a world free from discrimination and filled with love. If Maya's journey resonates with you, don't miss out on the unfolding battle against discrimination and the fight for equality. Subscribe now to stay updated on her inspiring story and join a community dedicated to making a difference. We want to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever faced discrimination in the workplace? How did you respond? Your experiences can empower others to stand up and advocate for change. Let's spark a conversation that matters.